Alright fellas, in this video I'm going to go over a bunch of meals and foods that I eat throughout the week to give you an idea of what a testosterone boosting diet looks like. If you have a pair of balls and you eat food every single day of your life and you want to boost your energy, your focus, your mood, your libido, and your erection quality without having to shoot up TRT or rub testosterone gels on your nutsack, then stick around because you can improve all of these things naturally through your diet. If you're new here, my name's Ben Richardson. I'm a personal trainer, a certified nutrition coach, and a chemical engineer. And for years, I suffered from poor health and low testosterone levels from being a fat.
Look, here's the deal.
And it wasn't until I went through a pretty nasty breakup towards the end of my college years that I started to finally get a grip on my life. So I'm here to share what I've learned since then with other men so that they can improve their health and increase testosterone naturally just like I did. And I do post videos like this one every single week, so make sure you subscribe so that you're not missing out. Before we dive in, I just want to give a quick shout out to my dad. He's the one who gave me this video idea, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. I've also provided a grocery list in the description below of every single item that you need to copy paste some of the meals into your routine, so make sure you check that out. Alright, let's get started.
So usually my first quote-unquote meal of the day, or my breakfast if you will, is just some black coffee. I'm on the intermittent fasting grind, and something I like to do is I sprinkle a little bit of Himalayan salt in here just for some extra minerals and electrolytes. This is especially important because I use the sauna at the gym, so this really helps replenish all those electrolytes that I'm sweating out when I use the sauna. I definitely want to be capitalizing on all those benefits of the sauna, especially as a pretty intense strength trainer, but you just got to make sure that you're replenishing your electrolytes and your minerals that you're sweating out if you use that. So that's one weird nutrition thing that I do, but you don't need much. I just sprinkle in enough to get a little bit of saltiness in the coffee, and it's actually really good. So this is another one of my go-to small meals. It's just a pound of cottage cheese and about, I think this is 6 ounces of raspberries. Just eat these together. They pair really well. Sometimes I'll eat some more fruit with this, but this right here, this whole container, that's about 450 calories. I get the 4% milk fat, so you get a little bit of fat and a good amount of protein in there. This is mostly carbs. It's not a ton. I mean, there's probably maybe 100 calories in this whole thing. Maybe add on some more fruit like a banana or an apple, maybe like a cup of orange juice or something, and that usually makes for a pretty good small meal. So because I have a slightly busier than usual night tonight, I'm probably not going to have much time to cook anything, so I'm opting for something relatively quick and easy, but I'm not using this as an excuse to just completely throw my diet out the water or whatever. So I'm not going to go hit up some fast food junk place or whatever, Burger King, Wendy's, McDonald's, something or other. You can still go for decent options that are relatively low in calories and they still have a good balance of macronutrients. So what I opted for here was a giant number, I think it was the number 14. It's the bootlegger at Jimmy John's. It's got roast beef and turkey on it. I personally don't get it with cheese. You probably could get it with cheese and it'd be okay, but this has plenty of fat, plenty of carbs, and plenty of protein in it. I know they probably put mayonnaise on here too, so it's got some fat on it even without the cheese, and the meat has plenty of protein. This is just kind of an example of something that I would opt for on a night like this where I have a lot going on and I just need something quick and easy. And to some extent you can apply the 80-20 rule here. 80% of your foods, if they're good wholesome foods that you buy at the grocery store, and then give yourself 20% room for stuff like this, you'll be fine. So for my little nightcap drink that gives me a little bit of extra protein, and it kind of just triggers the release of a lot of those relaxation hormones that are going to help me sleep well. I got some collagen peptides, got a little bit of sugar, and then a little dash of this pink Himalayan sea salt. I'm just kind of warming up some water right now, and I'm going to pour this in here. I add a scoop of that. I add about the same grams of sugar as I add to that. I've found that that's pretty good. This is just kind of an idea of something that I might drink before I go to bed. It's a good way to get a little bit of extra protein, and I'm a big fan of collagen peptides rather than whey protein, just because collagen has a lot of those good amino acids like proline and glycine in it that aren't necessarily found in muscle meats. So it's definitely a great thing to consume, whether you do that one or whatever one that you can find. I might royally screw this up trying to pour and film at the same time. That wasn't bad. I really like this chocolate collagen stuff that I buy from that Umzu company. It's really good. This stuff pretty much tastes like hot chocolate. It's a nice way to just kind of relax, watch an episode or two of some TV or whatever, and just chill out for the rest of the night before I go to bed. Alright fellas, so today it's just kind of a variation of the cottage cheese meal. Again, I got some blueberries here, got another container of cottage cheese, and a banana, so as opposed to the raspberries and cottage cheese I did the other day. You really don't need a ton of variation in your diet. If you guys haven't checked out my video on the secret to eating your way to high testosterone levels, something that I talk about in that video is Alex Hormozi's philosophy on most people have a solid 10 meals that they base most of their diet around. So if you just take those solid 10 meals that most of your diet is based around, it could be 10 to 15 meals, and then just alter them or come up with variations to them and really dial in the macros and the calories for those. That's really, really helpful, because if 80% of your diet is 10 to 15 meals and you just change those meals to be meals that are relatively reasonable in calories, whether it's low or high if you're trying to build muscle, it's within a certain calorie range. It's also enjoyable for you. I mean, it satisfies your hunger. It's enjoyable for you to eat. I guess that's the third thing, is you actually enjoy it and you're not going to get sick of eating it over and over again. That's a really helpful thing to do. So for some of my meals, you guys might think to yourself, oh, well, he just eats eggs and steak and cottage cheese and yogurt over and over again with all this fruit. Yeah, I do. But there's always some kind of variation thrown in there. But the meals are pretty similar. All right, fellas, nothing particularly fancy for my post-work snack, I guess. I mean, I'm just having an apple. It's pretty good and effective at just blunting my hunger for a little bit longer until I eat my dinner. And I'm not even super sure what my dinner's gonna look like, because I have a coaching call tonight and I'm supposed to go to church group tonight also. But anyway, here's to my post-work snack, a 100-calorie apple.
Hey fellas, so if you're enjoying this video, I'd really appreciate it if you go down and hit that like button real quick. And also let me know what you think about the video in the comments below, what you do like and what you don't like, because I always love hearing from you guys and it really helps me make better content.
Alright fellas, so I got another really busy night ahead of me, so I am keeping things stupid simple again tonight. I'm just gonna crack open all 10 of these eggs, scramble them up in some butter, and season them with some pink Himalayan salt, some black pepper, and tarragon actually pairs really nicely with eggs, so that's what I'm going to use to season these up. Always remember to weigh out your half a tablespoon of butter. That's 50 calories. Or you can do a whole tablespoon as long as you measure it and keep track of it. And for entertainment purposes, I'm going to attempt to crack open some of these with just one hand. Show off my mad Gordon Ramsay skills. Or lack thereof. Yeah, see, I got a ton of shell in here. Crap. Gotta get that out because I'm not eating that. One would think that after cracking 10 of these open or so, I'd be good at it, but I am not particularly skilled at the one-handed egg open. I will say this, though, I do feel like a freaking boss whenever I do it successfully. I've probably successfully done it with, like, 4 total. Terrible. Hey man, 4 for 10 in engineering school is pretty much passing because of the curve, so here we go. This is my last one. Let's see if I get it. And no eggshells. 5 for 10. Could have been better, but could have been much worse. And here we have it, fellas, just kind of going with the breakfast theme. There's 10 scrambled eggs, if you've ever wondered what 10 scrambled eggs looks like. I got about 255 grams of blueberries here. That's so specific because it was half a pack. That's a pound of strawberries, and then about 1.5 servings of orange juice. Kind of going with a breakfast for dinner theme here, but not a lot of prep here. Very nutritious, tons of calories, tons of really good nutrients. So this is as simple as it gets, I guess. All right, fellas, for lunch today is fruit smoothie day. So I got some non-fat vanilla Greek yogurt here. I'm going to use about 2.5 servings of that. I got 2 bananas. I got some of these frozen fruit here. I'll use a solid 2 servings of that. I have some of this chocolate brownie, collagen peptides. This company Umzu makes it. This stuff's pretty good. I put a little bit of mushrooms in here just to get some extra vitamin D. You don't need much. You can hardly taste it, but it's just a good way to get some extra vitamin D into your diet, especially if you have a deficiency. And then you can add whatever ice cubes extra that you want in here, or any kind of fluid if it gets a little bit too chunky. We'll see how it turns out. Nice.
So if you're getting a lot out of this video, but you still don't feel like it's giving you what you need to take your nutrition to the next level to increase your testosterone levels naturally, then you might be interested in learning more about my coaching program. So if you want to connect with me, head on over to the link in the pinned comment down below. Fill out a quick form. It only takes like 1 or 2 minutes, and I'll be in touch with you to set up a Zoom call to see what I can do to help you out.
I'm definitely a big fan of these protein fruit smoothies because it just kind of gives you a lot to experiment with. I mean, you can use all kinds of different fruits, and sometimes I'll even throw raw egg yolks in there just to get a little extra nutrients and stuff. And another thing that I have done is added cottage cheese instead of Greek yogurt, and that's a good way to get some really good calcium into your diet, some high quality dairy. I'd try to find a brand that doesn't use that Carrageenan thickener in it, because that's not good stuff. But give that a shot when you're making these. Use some low fat cottage cheese instead of Greek yogurt, or you can use plain 0-fat Greek yogurt to be even lower in calories. There's just a lot of different ways that you can play with this. I mean, you can even throw avocados into your fruit smoothie, and it's really good. All right, fellas, so today I am working out, and I'm going to show you a little bit of an all-natural pre-workout hack. So here we got some raw local honey that I purchased from one of my friends who actually has like a whole farm of bees or whatever. And then we have some pink Himalayan sea salt and some pomegranate juice. So I'm just going to take like a solid tablespoon of this and sprinkle some salt on it of the honey. And then really all you need is a little shot of this pomegranate juice for this to be effective. This honey started to crystallize on me a little bit, so I had to take matters into my own hands. But you can see I just kind of sprinkle some salt on this. And this is about how much honey. It looks like a lot, but it's really not actually all that much. It's just pretty chunky. And then, of course, leave it to Ben, the chemical engineer, to have a 50 milliliter shot glass and to actually weigh this out. And this thing's really full, so I'm probably going to actually need to use both hands here. I used the salt to prop it up. I'm genius. Here we go. About 50 milliliters. That's really all you need to get the benefits from this. If only my college professors could see me now doing shots of pomegranate juice out of 50 milliliter beakers that I bought. Alright, fellas, so for dinner I got me a nice fat juicy top sirloin steak here. I let it marinate at room temperature in the seasoning for about an hour before I grill it up here. And I'm using half a tablespoon of butter here to cook it in, give it a little bit of flavor, let that melt up. I have this burner on just below medium. I'm gonna let that melt up, and then I'm gonna do about 2.5 minutes on each side and then let it rest for about 3 minutes. That should be a nice medium rare. And I also have some sweet potatoes in the oven. I don't know if you can see that too well. I don't think my stove has a light, but anyway, I peeled the sweet potatoes and threw them in the oven at about 450 for about an hour, hour and a half. This should be a pretty nice dinner here. Normally I like to snack on some pickles while I'm kind of waiting on my dinner to cook up. Pickles are definitely good for your gut health. They're a nice low-calorie snack and just kind of getting my stomach a little pre-filled. It usually helps with my satiety from each meal that I eat. When I actually go and eat my food, I'm gonna feel super stuffed because I'm kind of pre-filling my stomach with these. Almost forgot to add the mushrooms. Here are our sweet potatoes. So I peeled these to get the skin off. Really, you could eat the skin too. It's just not my favorite thing in the world. I might put a little bit of butter and a little bit of cinnamon on these. Raw honey is actually really good on sweet potatoes too. Probably not gonna add any tonight, but I'm just gonna have like 5 sunny side up eggs. Right now I'm melting down some butter. So I usually season these with some of this salt and pepper. Nothing super fancy. I ain't no chef. I broke one of the yolks. I get so mad when that happens. I pretty much crack them on in here and I cover it up for a few minutes. I personally like to, right now it's at like a medium low-ish heat. It's on like 3.5. Look how nice those turned out. These are like perfect in my book. They're gonna be nice and runny. Oh yeah, look at that egg yolk. That's like perfection. This one broke. Still kind of triggered over that. I hate when I do that. I like my eggs runny. I like that nice runny yolk. I'd encourage you guys, you don't have to be obsessive about this, but the less you cook the egg yolk, the less you risk breaking down some of the nutrients that are in them. Ideal case scenario, probably one of the weirder things that I do is just swallow egg yolks raw. Make sure you don't swallow the egg white part if you're going to try something like that. Make sure you separate the egg yolk from the egg white. But that's why I like cooking mine sunny side up, but because I cover them, you can see it cooks over the yolk a little bit, but these are still nice and runny. I haven't cooked them for too long and I haven't cooked them too hard. This isn't to say that if you hard boil eggs or scramble eggs or something, you're gonna ruin the eggs, but if you're going for optimal nutrient uptake, I would minimize how long you cook the egg yolks or even swallow them raw. So the other night I had 1/2 pound of top sirloin with some sweet potatoes, and tonight I'm going for the 10-ounce ribeye with about 1 pound of sweet potatoes. So pretty similar meal. If you guys haven't caught on, I eat a decent amount of red meat. Not a crazy amount. I mean, I typically shoot for probably 1/2 pound per day, give or take. I'm not one of these carnivore diet guys who eat steak for breakfast, steak for lunch, steak for dinner. But I probably do have red meat 6-ish times per week, give or take. So that's what's on the menu. I seasoned this and let it sit here just like I did with the sirloin, and I also do it with my ground beef with salt and pepper. There's garlic in here. I put a little cayenne just to give it a little bit of a spice, and then some thyme, and it's been just sitting here at room temperature seasoning for a little over 2 hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and sear this up while my sweet potatoes are finishing up, and this will be a pretty solid dinner. Also can't forget my mushrooms tonight. I almost forgot them the other night. That would have been really sad. There we have it, boys. Chef Ben does it again. Alright, fellas, so for lunch today, keeping it pretty simple. Got some vanilla Greek yogurt, non-fat yogurt here. There's about half a container left of it, and I'm just mixing in some of these chocolate collagen peptides into it. It's pretty good. It's got a decent amount of protein, some carbs in there from the sugar. Probably not too much fat since this is non-fat Greek yogurt. Yeah, 0 fat. What I might do just to get a little fat into my diet is just down a couple Brazil nuts, and that should give me a little bit of fat to capitalize on my macros here. Mix this in here real good. It's like chocolate pudding. All right, fellas. So tonight I went with the Chipotle bowl because I had another kind of busy night. I've been working on some video stuff, and I had to get some general stuff done, laundry and whatnot, you know, the busyness of life, adulting kind of stuff. So anyway, in my Chipotle bowl, I usually get some white rice. Sometimes I get beans, sometimes I don't. I didn't tonight. I'll get the fajita veggies, I'll get double steak, some cheese, some sour cream, and some of the red sauce and tomatoes. That's just what I like, but usually with Chipotle, what I like about it is you can keep it relatively low calories, especially with a bowl. If you opt for a burrito, I mean, you got to be a little bit careful because in that shell I'm pretty sure there's at least like a few hundred calories in just that burrito shell, so I'd recommend you go with the bowl. I feel like you get a little bit more food too, and it's just better for overall satiety. Alright fellas, so today I am breaking my fast with a good old little carrot salad here. So I'm gonna take these whole carrots and I'm gonna shred them up with this peeler, and I'm gonna make myself a nice little salad, and I'm also going to have a cup of cold bone broth with it, slightly salted. So this is a really good meal to take care of my gut. I mean, these fibers in these carrots, they're excellent at pulling out nasty synthetic chemicals from your gut lining, and then bone broth is really effective at restoring the integrity of your gut. And bone broth is pretty much pure protein, and it's a liquid form of protein, so it's super easy on the digestive system, and that's why I really like a meal like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and shred these carrots up. And there we have it. So I'm going to put a little bit of apple cider vinegar on this. So there's our good old organic, raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar. Just a little bit. It really doesn't take much because, as we all know, vinegar is pretty potent stuff. I grab my salt. Nice. Just lightly salt it a little bit. Grab a fork here. Mix it up a bit. This is going to be a nice little snack. And then for my bone broth, I'm also going to add a little salt, season it up. Tastes a lot better. Just drinking regular plain bone broth like this is honestly pretty gross. So giving it a little bit of salt to add in here, that makes it pretty good. This will give me a little bit of digestible protein here. And this right here, this is a solid little, I mean, it's not much of a meal, but it's just something that takes really good care of the digestive system. And your digestive system is so closely linked to your gut health. Your gut is called your second brain for a reason, because it's very much so in charge and responsible for releasing certain hormones, and that's why it's referred to as your second brain. So always take care of your digestive system, always take care of your gut health. Alright guys, so for dinner tonight I'm gonna have ground beef and rice with some eggs over it, some sunny side up eggs, tons of nutrients in this dinner. So I'll show you how I prepare this. So I take my ground beef, and this is a pound of it. This is grass-fed organic beef, and I'm gonna pre-season it and let it sit for a couple hours at room temperature. That way all these seasonings are gonna season it from within. Give it a shot. It is absolutely incredible. Probably the best thing you can do is season it and let it sit in the refrigerator overnight. This is a little tip that I got from a book called Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat. Again, I'm no chef, but little things like this make a really big difference, and usually the more preparation that you put into a meal like this, the better it's going to taste. So I'm just going to season it with some salt, some black pepper, some garlic powder, and some rosemary here. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. I season it pretty generously, but that's just my preference, and a lot of this will probably cook off. Well, maybe not cook off, but once it dissolves and saturates the meat. I'm just going to mix all this up. I might not be able to record this and mix it at the same time. I'll try. I'm going to use half of this. The other half will be for another night. All right, so that's all mixed up, and that's just gonna sit here at room temperature for probably at least a couple hours. I'm probably not gonna have dinner for at least 2 more hours. So that's just a little hack on how to really step up the flavor of some of your meats, especially if you guys are big red meat eaters. This works with poultry or chicken or whatever else you use, but predominantly I mostly eat red meat whenever I do eat meat. All right, guys, we are back with what is now starting to feel like my own testosterone cooking show. So I have half a pound of the ground beef that I seasoned, weighed out that's 8 ounces. And then I have 2 cups of this dry white rice weighed out, and then the water measured out for it. Look at this. Is that not like the most chemical engineering nerdy thing that you've ever seen? It's like a freaking beaker. So all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start browning this beef up here real nice. So once this browns up a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and add the water, and then I'm going to turn the heat up to high, and then once the water starts boiling, I'm going to add in the rice and then move it to low, and then I'm going to wait about 20 minutes for the rice to soak up all the water. Alright, so it's been about 20 minutes. That rice should be mostly absorbed. I'm still going to let it sit for about 10 more minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and get my eggs going. So I got half my tablespoon of butter here. I'm a big fan of keeping these sunny side up. Oh shoot, season it up with a little salt. Kind of hard to shake this thing. I definitely over-salted that one. That's alright, I'll eat it. A little extra salt ain't gonna kill me. And this right here is like perfection. Sunny side up, but there's a little bit of that egg white that's cooking over these yolks. It's still gonna be nice and runny. Gosh, listen to me, I sound like a freaking, I don't know, this is straight up turning into like a cooking video more so than anything else. I'm just gonna mix this up a little bit, and I'm gonna add all 5 of these eggs in here. And let me tell you, this egg yolk, when it runs in here and the little bit of egg going on in here with this beef and rice, it's incredible. Crap. That's okay, it's fine. There we have it, folks. This is going to be an incredible meal. I'm lazy. I'm just going to eat it right out of this pot that I cooked everything in. Why do more dishes than you have to? Life hack. So the beef, it's probably about 400 calories. The rice is probably about 320 calories. The eggs, let's see, 70 times 5, what's that, 350 calories, plus the butter, that's another 400 calories. This is a really decent sized meal, but there's so much freaking nutrient content in this with these egg yolks and the ground beef. This is like a textbook testosterone boosting meal right here, so I'm gonna go enjoy this.
So there you have it, my testosterone boosting diet, full week of eating. Is my diet perfect? No, there's definitely room for improvement. I'm sure some of you who are on that next level carnivore grind are gonna absolutely drill me a new one for eating Jimmy John's. But I'd still be willing to bet that this gave most of you some ideas on how to change up your diet for the better. But anyways, that's all for this video. If you liked it, make sure you hit that like button. And again, if you're new here and you've made it this far, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel as well. This generation of men have much lower testosterone levels than previous ones from things like poor diets, bad exercising habits, and increased exposure to environmental toxins, and even things like pornography addiction are negatively impacting men's testosterone levels. And all these things are becoming a huge problem in our society because it's stripping men of what makes men men. So if you want to join my community of men who want to take action against this downward spiral, make sure you subscribe and turn the notification bells on too so that you don't miss out on any of my latest videos. If you made it to the end, I appreciate the support, and I hope you got a ton out of this video too. Good luck with your testosterone boosting diet. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.